Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Well, here is something that we haven't seen in our viewing area in a long time. Snow. These are video viewers sent to us from Pinehurst and Southern Pines just before 4 this morning. Some light flurries. We'll take a look at some of the other places that saw some wintry precipitation overnight.
In our viewing area, it was mostly our southern counties, not because of the temperature, but just because of where the moisture was. I'll show you who ended up seeing some and who didn't.
And the heavy snow that people on the Great Lakes are experiencing, it is not letting up. The major problem that's causing for people there, including roof collapses and dangerous roads.
The city of Raleigh wants to do more to address concerns about excessive noise. The changes being considered that could mean stricter punishment for bars and other nightlife establishments. A lot to tell you about, especially the snow flurries for just a few hours in some parts of the viewing area this morning. Excited about that. I'm Renee Chu. We haven't had snow in a long time.
We have not. I'm Chris Love again for Jeff Hogan. You can tell Renee is very psyched for the snow that we're seeing today. But something we should let parents know, Elizabeth, is that there's a 2-hour delay happening with Moore County schools today.
And there was a light coating of snow there. This is it's kind of fun because the Sandhills are usually not the place that we see it. We all know the snow capital of our viewing area is up near the Virginia line, particularly Roxborough. But this was all coming from the west, and then it dove southward into the Sandhills and kind of skipped over Raleigh and parts north. Right now, we're still seeing just a few flurries showing up in the southern part of Cumberland County and over towards Sampson County. And then that's going to be it. We're probably going to be another 30, 45 minutes and it will all be over. When the sun comes up, we'll get a good look at this very light coating of snow that's here across parts of the Sandhills. This is Pinehurst Resort and Country Club. 30 degrees is our temperature in the triangle and our wind is calm. So it's a very cold start out there for everybody this morning. We take a look at temperatures. 23 in Roxborough. It's 34 in Fayetteville, but feels like 30. It's a little bit of a wind chill. Feels like 23 in Rocky Mount. It's 28 right now in Southern Pines, where we have that little dusting of snow. It will be colder overnight tonight. Temperatures will drop into the mid-teens in the north, low 20s down south. So we get another hard freeze overnight tonight. And temperatures this afternoon will be chilly in the mid-40s. I'll walk you through what it will feel like with the wind chill through the day today. Coming up, Chris?
Elizabeth, coming up on 6:02. National Weather Service, by the way, said to watch for some slick spots on bridges in Moore and Hoke counties. As far as this bridge right here, I-40, Fayetteville Road 401, we seem to be in good shape. It's really just a few select areas that have that potential for some slickness early on this Tuesday morning. As we highlight some of the main routes in the triangle, things look good to go. The green, an indication that everything is flowing pretty smoothly so far this morning. Any kind of delays held to a minimum on I-40 heading into the capital city. Of course, if that changes, we'll let you know all morning here on WRAL.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, we are seeing viewer photos being sent to us of the flurries this morning. This is a photo of somebody's back deck here in Moore County. Again, we do want to reiterate Moore County schools are delayed for 2 hours today because it is unsafe for buses on bridges. But we also have some video from earlier this morning in Southern Pines that we want to show you. It looks like a snow globe. It is absolutely beautiful. You can see some of this snow flurries coming down there. This was about 4 o'clock this morning. But back here in the Live Center, I want to show you some more pictures here. Look at this. Snow flurries in Lee County. This person says that they had some flurries on their car. Also, this is snow coming down in Bear Creek. This is near Tom Hancock Road. And more flurries in northwest Chatham. Take a look at that. That's some beautiful snow there. And also Southern Pines. They also, again, saw that snow coming down this morning. So we are seeing lots of viewer photos. Keep sending them in, and we'll show them to you in the Live Center.
Of course, you see them right there on your screen. You could also get your video and pictures here. We'd love to see the snow in your neighborhood. So if you see flurries at your house, send us a picture with the reported feature on the WRAL News app, and you might just get featured on our newscasts.
While some of you saw flurries, the Northeast is dealing with way too much snow. The heavy weight of snow in western New York caused a barn collapse that killed farm animals. This happened yesterday about 45 miles south of Buffalo. 5 cows died when several feet of snow on the roof crushed the building. About 100 other animals were trapped and needed to be freed. More than 4.5 feet of snow has fallen in that area. Covering Wake County, today more changes could be coming to Raleigh's noise ordinance. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from downtown Raleigh. And Laura, this comes after repeated offenses to the city's new policy.
Renee, good morning. City leaders are proposing new changes to what they're calling the Turn Down the Sound ordinance. We know that this comes as city leaders have received numerous complaints about noise violations that's disrupting businesses here downtown as well as nearby communities. Now, this comes after the city already made some changes about 8 months ago. However, there's been repeated complaints since then of some violators who have refused to reduce sound levels after receiving noise citations. So in response, the city attorney's office has proposed these 3 changes to the existing ordinances. First, to require a noise violator to turn down the sound immediately after receiving a citation and to comply with the law enforcement officer's direction to reduce sound if the level increases. Secondly, to require any nightlife establishment that receives a noise citation to keep amplified sound inside a structure for 24 hours. And then lastly, to revise the appeal process for civil noise violations so that appeals are decided by the city manager. Today, City Council meets for 2 sessions, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. That's when they'll review some of these proposals and decide if they want to proceed. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And today, Raleigh City Council could also approve the next step in the bus rapid transit plan. City leaders will decide whether to move forward with the design phase of the Western BRT. That would connect downtown Raleigh with downtown Cary. It would add dedicated transit lanes along Western Boulevard. The City Council will consider a contract of up to $22 million with an engineering consultant. Their meeting starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
A 7-year-old girl in Johnson County will have surgery today to remove a stray bullet that hit her on Thanksgiving Day. The bullet hit the girl in the legs while she was playing outside with her family on Parkertown Road near Four Oaks. Deputies found 18 bullets in the area. Investigators believe people on a nearby property were target practicing, and their bullets hit the girl as well as several nearby homes. One of the girl's aunts says if the shots had come moments earlier, the girl may have been killed.
Previously, she was sitting on the ground. So if she had not stood up to get the water bottle off of the table, it would have went into her chest.
The aunt says family members went to the property a mile away where people were shooting. Those people said they did not know there were homes in the direction they were firing. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office is investigating.
President Joe Biden is facing more criticism from both Democrats and Republicans for his decision to pardon his son, Hunter. Biden called the criminal cases against his son politicized and unfair. Some Democrats worry this undermines confidence in the justice system, and some Republicans do empathize with Biden as a father. However, they still question the decision because Biden previously said he would not pardon his son.
If it was my son, I'd pardon him too. But here's what I didn't like. Don't lie to us. Don't tell us you're not going to do it and then do it.
President Biden is on a trip to Africa. He did not respond to reporters' questions about the pardon. Presidents Abraham Lincoln, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump also pardoned relatives while in office.
Today, the State Board of Elections will take the next step in a partial hand recount at the request of State Supreme Court Republican candidate Jefferson Griffin. Democratic incumbent Allison Riggs is leading by a few hundred votes. The Board of Elections will randomly pick which precincts will be recounted. Meanwhile, the second recount in Wilson County is underway. It's one of the last of the state's 100 counties finishing up those efforts. The recounts were supposed to be done by Thanksgiving, but Wilson County had technical issues that delayed the results. 3 schools will be open this morning after closing early yesterday due to heating issues. Oberlin Magnet Middle School and Carroll Magnet Middle School in Raleigh both dismissed students before lunch because of the cold. After-school activities were canceled too. Carrington Middle School in Durham also closed early. A reminder as we brace for more cold temperatures throughout the week, white flag shelters are open to give people somewhere to go to get out of the cold. There are several shelters open in Raleigh. That includes the men's shelter at the Bryant Center and the family shelter over on Capitol Boulevard, which are open every night. 4 more shelters are open from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. on each night the temperature dips below 35. There are also shelters open in Durham and Fayetteville. You can find a full list on WRAL.com. Just search white flag.
Your time is 6:09 this morning. President-elect Donald Trump is sending a warning. buyer beware. How he plans to block a Japanese firm from taking over U.S. Steel when he takes office. Plus this story.
Oh, man.
We will show that video again and explain how the driver of that truck narrowly escaped getting hit by a train.
And speaking of that snowy scene, how about this? We actually had a few snow showers in our area. I'll show you where we saw it and where we didn't coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
612. There are some folks who are waking up to a little light coating of snow down here in the Sandhills. It's pretty much over. You can see just a little bit of light activity still down to the south, but it's going to be really pretty in some spots. You can see it's kind of moving out of Fayetteville, just a little bit left over there into Sampson County. Temperatures are cold for everybody. We'll take a live look here. Wilson, 28 degrees, Durham, 30, Fayetteville is at 34. It doesn't look like there's much of a coating there in Fayetteville, but in the Sandhills we did. And in Fayetteville, you may have seen a flurry or two if you were up really early. Today's going to be a really cold day. We're starting off in the 20s to low 30s. We'll see highs in the mid 40s. So walking the dog this evening around 5 o'clock, it'll be 39 degrees. But it's going to feel a lot colder with this than the wind chill. I'll walk you through the wind chill hour by hour. Coming up, Chris.
Elizabeth, right now in the WRAL Traffic Center, if you have plans to head to the Triad, there may be some slick spots where they saw more snow overnight. Bridges in Moore and Hoke County could have some patchy ice on them as well. Meanwhile, in the Triangle, all things are flowing pretty smoothly as we give you a look at some of the delay times so far this morning. So far, no delays, whether you're coming in from Wake Forest, Knightdale, or from Garner along NC 42, US 1 in Apex, of course, I-885 there in Durham. So far, all the green on the map indicating that things are running smoothly. Of course, if that changes, we will certainly let you know. Just have to watch out for some of those bridges, overpasses in Moore and Hoke counties where we did see just a little bit of snow. Meanwhile, it is cold out there this morning as we hand things over to Chris Lovingood. I had the heat on in the car, heated seats, didn't want to get out.
I said it earlier, I was offended how cold it was outside.
It was quite rude.
And some of the places that we've seen flurries this morning include this video right here. A viewer sent us this video from Southern Pines, and that's not the only places where we're seeing that. In fact, here locally, although we're not seeing it in Raleigh, it's just kind of cold right now. That's where we find WRAL's Nick Perlin. Nick, it's cold, and yet you saw a group of runners willingly outside?
Yeah, a little crazy, not gonna lie. You said you were offended by the cold, Chris, and I was really upset, honestly, getting out of my car to do this live shot because it is so cold. I have so many layers on, but that didn't stop these runners. About 5 minutes ago, they just took off there down Person Street, and they're running. They're going to be running for the next 45 minutes, and they're not going to let it stop them. And so, yeah, as you get out this morning, you are going to feel it. You're going to want to put on as many layers as you can. The wind is definitely kicking, and it's very, very cold, as you've heard all morning. So, yeah, just definitely take the extra time to stay warm. Anything you can do would be great. We'll send it back to you all inside. Reporting live in Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Nick, you're a trooper, and we appreciate you. UNC and NC State will each have to pay $25,000 for a fight after Saturday night's game at Kenan Stadium. NC State's Davin Vann tried to plant the Wolfpack flag on the UNC logo at midfield after the Pack beat the Heels, and the UNC players took offense to that. It was one of several post-game fights in college football over the weekend. The ACC reprimanded both universities along with the fines. The conference said the unsportsmanlike behavior was unacceptable and tarnishes the on-field play.
Tonight, the Wake County Public School Board will examine their budget shortfalls. These shortfalls are happening partly because there isn't as much money in savings. Some contracts have also come in at higher costs than expected. The school nutrition department is facing a $3 million shortfall, and that is because of an increase in supplies and staff wages. The school board is exploring ways to avoid the shortfall while also planning for next year.
President-elect Donald Trump says he will block the proposed acquisition of U.S. Steel by a Japanese company. Nippon Steel is making a $14.9 billion bid to buy U.S. Steel. In a Truth Social post, Trump said, quote, "I am totally against the once great and powerful U.S. Steel being bought by a foreign company. As president, I will block this deal from happening." President Biden and Vice President Harris have also indicated that they oppose the deal.
Tonight, you can speak with state leaders about what's being done to improve our drinking water. They're holding a public hearing on proposed standards for so-called forever chemicals, known as PFAS, in groundwater. The hearing is scheduled for 6 p.m. in the Archdale building in downtown Raleigh, and they'll address how chemicals, including Gen X, are monitored and regulated. In fact, you can learn more about the impact of PFAS pollution in North Carolina by watching our documentary, Forever Chemicals, North Carolina's Toxic Tap Water, and you'll find that on WRAL.com under the documentary tab.
A truck driver in Pennsylvania narrowly escapes being hit by a train. Authorities in Erie say the truck got hung up in the snow as it tried to go over the tracks yesterday. The driver was able to get out of the cab before the train hit his truck. No one was hurt.
Goodness gracious, glad they're okay. All right, let's look at some of the snow falling early this morning at Lake Norman and Davidson. So we recorded this video from the Freedom Boat Club around 2:30 this morning, and you see it's like that here. We saw some flurries over in Southern Pines. Here locally, not too much. It kind of varies where you are in the area right now, Elizabeth. But I see the southern part of our viewing area. Things are kind of fizzling out this morning.
They are. So we're seeing this clearing out pretty quickly. This started in the mountains and then took a dive southward. And so that's why we didn't see it in the Triangle or up north around, say, Roxborough, which is typically our snow capital of our viewing area. There just was no precipitation there. It wasn't a temperature thing. We're about to see the end of it. We'll zoom down to the south, maybe a quick little flurry in the southern part of Cumberland County, southern part of Sampson County, and then it's going to be out of here probably within another 30 minutes or so. When we take a live look at Pinehurst, there is a little dusting of snow here on the greens outside of the Pinehurst Resort and Country Club. So when the sun comes up a little higher, we'll be able to see that. But I love our Weather Watcher photo today. Patty Sheffield sent us this from Sanford, and you can see this light coating of snow on the cars out there. So beautiful start this morning for parts of the viewing area. We love your Weather Watcher photos. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and even if you didn't see any snow, you can send us what happened where you were. We did see that snow down to the southern part of the viewing area, but we continue to see snow. We've seen it for days. At lake effect, of course, what happens here is the lake temperature, the water temperature is warmer than the air, and it comes across those lakes, picks up the precipitation, and dumps copious amounts of snow. Take a look at this. Copenhagen in upstate New York at almost 66 inches, Casadega at 55 inches, Orchard Park at 27.6. When downtown Buffalo, 15 miles apart, saw less than an inch. So it's right there on those lake shores. Why are we so cold? High pressure is diving from Canada, dragging some of that cold air that folks in New York are seeing right down into our area. That's going to last for a bit. We're going to see a little bump up of temperatures midweek, and then we get another shot of this Arctic air coming in over the weekend and next week. So we're not done with this anytime soon. This morning, heading out the door, it's 23 in Roxborough, feels like 23. There's a little bit of a wind chill. It feels like 31 in Clinton, where it's 34. It feels like 23 in Rocky Mount, where it is 28. It will be even colder tomorrow morning. We're looking at a low of 22 in the Triangle, the coldest since January 22nd of this year when we hit 20 degrees. Take a look at this. Teens for Durham, Rocky Mount, South Hill, and Roxborough, Raleigh, Fayetteville, Clinton, all going to see temperatures in the low 20s for tomorrow morning. So just be prepared for that. It will be colder than what we're seeing this morning. Now, with the wind chill, it's feeling like that in some places. We'll be a little warmer Thursday morning and Sunday morning. Other than that, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, all in the low to mid 20s. Of course, we want you to come out and see our tower lighting as it happens. We invite you out here to WRAL or to Durham, the American Tobacco Complex, or in Rocky Mount at Rocky Mount Mills. The festivities begin at 7 o'clock. The towers are lit at about 7:20. You can tune in here on WRAL or, of course, head out to any of those locations to see the tower lighting. Checking out our 7-day forecast. We are fairly dry, a small chance of some showers early next week, and 62 on Monday. So it's something for everybody really in the 7-day forecast. But with the cold temperatures out there, folks, especially in the Sandhills, need to watch out.
Especially more in Hoke counties. That's where we're hearing about some of the icy spots that we're seeing on some of those bridges and overpasses as the cold air can kind of flow a little more freely. You head farther to the west, and that's where there's more issues to be had, especially toward Greensboro. We just sent you guys a push alert on the WRAL News app that I-40 is closed near North Carolina 68. You could see some patches of snow in parts of Siler City. We've seen some pictures of some trucks and cars that are covered in that, so allow yourself some extra time. Closer to the Triangle, I-40 near the Durham Freeway. Everything is flowing smoothly this morning. I'm not seeing any major delays within the immediate area. If you're heading in from Hillsborough, Chapel Hill, Wade Avenue, or North Carolina 50, everything heading into the Bull City is just fine. But we understand you may not be able to keep it with the TV. Hey, take us on the go as you're heading out on the radio, 101.5 HD3, anywhere in the Triangle.
Chris, thanks. This winter, you'll likely see your energy bill go down. Yeah, you heard me correctly. The reason Duke Energy is lowering rates and giving your wallet a bit of a break.
Plus, 5 years after a fire damaged part of the Notre Dame Cathedral, it's reopening to the public this weekend. What we know about President-elect Donald Trump's visit to the cathedral.
And here's a look at your winning North Carolina Education Lottery numbers.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Today on What's Trending, you can now see the dogs from the TSA every day of the year.
The agency's 2025 calendar is now available. The calendar celebrates the dogs that work in airport security across the country. This year's features 13 dogs picked from more than 80 nominees nationwide. Some good-looking and hardworking pups there. You can download the calendar for free from the TSA website.
And some people may even forget that these are necessary creatures to have, right? Sniffing out some threats at airports.
They have an important job to do.
A very important job. Hey, Josh Groban, turns out, will be the next performer to have a residency in Las Vegas. He announced 5 nights of shows at Caesars Palace. They'll be happening in May, and I know a lot of people are going to flock there for that one.
Yeah, this is his first special engagement for Vegas. He said when the Coliseum offered up the stage, he said it was an aha moment. He definitely wanted to do it. And he wants fans to know, though, that he's not going to have a flaming piano like Adele's residency in Vegas. He doesn't have a flaming piano budget.
Come on,
but
man.
It's still
Step it up,
great.
though, man. You got to do some flair out there, right? Vegas style.
Yeah, but he's got the golden voice, so it'll sell out.
All right, happening this morning, Dix Park will celebrate its newest public artwork. Look at this right here. An opening reception for the piece titled Get Well Soon is happening. That's from 10 to 11 this morning. The 15-foot tall piece of artwork is on the Spruill building. It was created by mental health counselor Lamar Whidbey. It depicts an image of his daughter holding a flower. The artist says the flower honors people's mental health journeys. Strong piece.
And just ahead, we are getting some incredible photos from viewers just like this one. Coming up, we'll show you even more.
And speaking of, here's a live look at Pinehurst. As the sun is coming up, we're getting a pretty good look at a coating of snow there on the golf course. We'll talk about who saw some snow and who did not coming up.
NC State's Poe Hall is getting millions of dollars from the UNC Board of Governors. How the university says it will use the money as the building's been closed for a year over possible health concerns.